Results of revenge, 1 domestic, and 2 we haven't classified as yet in terms of, they are still unknown in terms of the probable cause.
He also revealed an increase in serious crimes between January and July 2026. The divisional commander attributed the rise largely to an uptick in break-ins, which climbed from 480 to 487 incidents over the period. Of those reported cases, commercial break-ins accounted for 30%, while residential break-ins made up the remaining 70%. In response, the division recently launched active directive patrols operating 24 hours a day. ASP Bacchus is called on Tobagonians to support the police in its crime reduction operations. In other news, the Ministry of Tertiary Education and Skills Training is moving to establish a voluntary registration system for local technicians, including plumbers, electricians, and other skilled professionals. Minister of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, Professor Prakash Prasad, says discussions are already underway to create a national database of certified technicians.
We have started discussions to have voluntary registration of technicians in engineering, allied health, etc., a database, so they'll be certified. If you want a good plumber, a good electrician, where do you check? You ask your neighbor? All right? So once we have these voluntary registration of people, we can let the country know who are the technicians, where the certification.
The minister explained that the proposed system is also intended to bring greater oversight and standardization to the sector.
As standardizes fees, isn't that so? So we want to look at, so this is in the active discussions, the draft, once the policy, we finish the discussions, the policy is going to go forward to Cabinet for approval. Now to tie all this together, recently Cabinet approved a national apprenticeship policy.
In sport, national defender Chauvinez Hamilton is one of TNT's most promising footballers, and the 22-year-old will captain Club Sando FC in their CONCACAF Caribbean Cup opening match this evening from 6 p.m. at the Hazley Crawford Stadium. It is a responsibility he relishes.
It means a lot, I'm very excited, very passionate to lead the team in this tournament. It's our first time in history for the club. Excited to go there and play the football and to give a good showing for Trinidad and Tobago. Our goal for sure is to go further, for sure. We are pushing to go further. We are pushing for the bigger stage, for sure. I will give a good showing of myself and hopefully I can move on to something bigger.
And that's what's making the news this morning. But joining us right now is the host of Trinidad and Tobago Today, Virmala Balkaran. Good morning, Virmala.
Good morning, Carrie. Oh my gosh, are we matching this morning?
We are matching this morning. Great minds, great minds.
Great minds think alike. How are you? You seem well rested more than the other days.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, I think I'm doing a good job. I think I should get a job in acting. I think I'll do really, really well.
I don't think you can fake it. I mean, I can tell. By the eyes, you look like you got at least a half hour more sleep than the days before.
A half hour more sleep, I'll take. I wish I got it, but I'll take that.
Truly, I'm taking that at any point. I don't know why. I've just been so sleepless. But
since I started off on this show when we started back in January,
yeah.
So I am naturally a night owl, right? I'm not really a morning person. But okay. I have to say, I'm becoming more and more of a morning person as time passes by.
Well, I love that. By the way, next week, I believe we're celebrating 7 to 8 months of the show we started on the 12th of January. Yeah, so we celebrate a month anniversary, if I can say that, every single month. Carrie, this morning, I wanted to just remind you and remind everyone that, always looking at us, we need to appreciate all careers and appreciate the people in service and all those industries who, go above and beyond, and they put in the hard work to take care of us, the hospitality industry and all of that. And we need to be kinder, and you need to treat everyone from the CEO to every other position equally and with respect and gratitude.
I agree.
Yeah.
You see, the thing is, many people have this idea in their head that if they have a particular position or they have a certain title with their name, it makes them better than other people, intrinsically better than other people.
Yeah.
And that's not the way it should be. That's not the way we should think as human beings. We all have value and we all have something to bring to the table. And whether you are the head of a company, or you are somebody that is in a role that is not as not seen as big. Everybody has their part to play. For instance, if the people that dispose garbage decide that for a week they're not going to do it, what is the situation that we're going to face?
Yeah. You know, and the young people lingo, those are the real MVPs that take care of us every single day. And I think a little bit more appreciation is needed, a little bit more gratitude. And I hope that we can teach our children to be as grateful, respectful, and kind as they're heading back to school as well. Well, Carrie, today is Tobago Thursday on the show. So you know what that means. We're talking everything about the Sister Isles. So much. Yeah, so much to look forward to. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, looking forward to it, as usual. Thanks so much, Virmala.
Bye.
When we come back, the Trinidad and Tobago Today morning show gets going right after this short break. Stay tuned.
Resilient, brave, worthy. 12 majestic women, 12 majestic journeys. Majestic Makeover Season 3, coming soon to TTT and TTT Live Online.
Majestic Makeover Season 3 is powered by
This August, join TTT as we celebrate emancipation through a month of culture, history, and entertainment. In collaboration with the Emancipation Support Committee of Trinidad and Tobago, experience the Pan-African Festival as it unfolds across your screens. Beginning with the historic Emancipation Ceremony, live from downtown Port of Spain on August 1st, Emancipation Day, TTT brings you a month-long lineup of festival highlights, including the Youth Pan Extravaganza, Pan-African Night Concert, Unity Reggae Concert, and much more. Delve into our history, heritage, and the contributions of our African descendants through powerful documentaries that preserve stories of resilience, identity, and legacy. Plus, enjoy a selection of entertaining films and dramatic stories to round out your viewing experience. This August, connect with the culture, the stories, and the moments on TTT and ttt.live/stream.
I'm Jamila Bannister, host of the Socially Safe podcast, the new TTPS podcast where we share real stories, teach real lessons, and create real impact. From online safety and youth crime to community policing and personal responsibility, we go beyond the headlines and talk about what's happening in our communities with the officers and experts who are on the front lines. Because safety starts with awareness, conversation, and action. Tune in to the Socially Safe podcast on the TTPS YouTube channel, listen on Apple Podcasts, and on Spotify. Don't miss it.
Watch on TTT, Mondays 6 p.m., Tuesdays 1:10 p.m.
Thursday, 6th August 2026. The time now, it is 6:10 a.m. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago on the world. I'm Virmala Balkaran, and welcome to Trinidad and Tobago Today. Let's take a look now at what's trending this morning. Well, Prime Minister Kamla Prasad-Bisesa says 82 murders recorded so far this year could have been avoided had those involved let love have the last word instead of anger. According to the Prime Minister, the figure includes 40 murders linked to altercations, 30 motivated by revenge, and 12 stemming from domestic disputes. Now, she said those killings could have been prevented if those involved had exercised emotional control and physical restraint. Mrs. Prasad Bisasa also noted that gang-related murders have declined from 273 in 2024 to 122 in 2025, with 78 recorded so far in 2026. And she said that while progress is being made in tackling gang violence, citizens also have a responsibility to help reduce crime by rejecting anger and embracing forgiveness. And international cricket star Dwayne Bravo is helping turn prison talent into opportunity. Daniel Phillip, a remanded inmate at the Port of Spain prison and winner of the institution's inaugural Mr. Emancipation talent show, has professionally recorded the original song that earned him the competition title. And the opportunity was made possible through Bravo and his DJ Bravo 47 Foundation after the former West Indies all-rounder was inspired by Phillip's winning performance. Phillip later visited 47 productions where he worked alongside Bravo and his production team to complete his first ever studio recording. And Bravo said, "Just trying to do my part in creating a better place to live, even if it means giving those who made mistakes a chance to find themselves." While the Trinidad and Tobago Prison Service says the initiative demonstrates the importance of rehabilitation through opportunity and the positive impact of community partnerships. And Sorvetti Artisan Frozen Desserts is ending its outdoor pop-up events. I'm sure you saw this on social media. And the founder, Rennie Andrews, announced the decision in a very emotional social media video. And she said that the business will no longer host outdoor pop-ups after experiencing what she described as disrespect, even threats and abuse directed at both her and her staff. And she said that while the decision was difficult, protecting her team's peace of mind had become the priority. Customers can still purchase Sorvetti products through online orders and pickups and selected retail outlets and events at the Oasis Garden Terrace. She also revealed that there are some plans to open a permanent location by the end of the year, allowing customers to purchase Sorvetti products throughout the week. We wish her and the team all the best. Turning now to news of remembrance. Tobago is mourning the loss of former Tobago House of Assembly Secretary and Assemblyman Mr. Robert Hislop, who passed away on July 26th at the age of 75. Born on February 22nd, 1951, Mr. Hislop served the people of Tobago with distinction as the Assemblyman for Providence, Calder Hall from 1992 to 1996, during which he also held the portfolio of Secretary of Youth and Sport. Throughout his tenure in public office, he was known for his dedication to community empowerment and the development of youth and sporting initiatives across the island. Mr. Hislop will be laid to rest this coming Monday, August 10th, 10 a.m. at the St. Andrew's Anglican Church in Scarborough. And of course, we send our deepest condolences to his family, his friends, and loved ones during this time of bereavement. Now, for the very first time, visitors and vendors at No Man's Land now have access to portable toilet facilities and running water. Great news. Delivered by the Division of Public Infrastructure and Transportation in collaboration with the Tobago Water and Trails Association, the newly commissioned amenities mark a major upgrade for public health, vendor compliance, and overall comfort at the popular eco-destination. The association installed supply lines and a self-contained eco-friendly system designed so that zero waste enters the surrounding environment. To cover maintenance and the initial installation costs, a user fee will be in place with plans to add a private changing facility soon. Well, that's how we kick off today's program. It is Tobago Thursday, so you know what to do. Grab a cup of coffee and settle in. Trinidad and Tobago Today has begun.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives, one property at a time.
Since 1972, one sound has been living in the heart of Trinidad and Tobago, the longest running radio station in the nation.
We're your holiday soundtrack, whether it's on your day off, long drives, or house limes. We are always sweet.
This is music with meaning, music with memories.
Music that feels like home.
And it's not just the songs, it's the voices you trust, personalities you've grown with.
Laughter that sounds familiar.
This isn't just radio, it's tradition.
It's memories. It's part of who we are.
Sweet 100.1 FM, the rhythm of our identity, part of your family.
Always 100, guide you on your way. Sweet 100, sweet 100.
Ever wondered what happens before the lights come on? Before the crowd pours in? Before the magic hits the stage? This is your all-access pass. Sneak Peek with Junior K takes you behind the scenes of the biggest cultural moments and the hottest events across TNT. From the sound checks to the stage setups, from final rehearsals to exclusive interviews. If it's about to be big, we're already there. Catch Sneak Peek airing daily on TTT and relive every moment on all our social media platforms. Sneak Peek with Junior K, where the story starts before the spotlight.
Coming up on Caribbean Passport, it's pulsating energy, deep cultural traditions. It's none other than Barbados crop over. Being at one with nature is no problem in Antigua and Barbuda, so let's swim with the stingrays. Fashion that's all-inclusive. And Caribbean tourism is at the forefront in Guyana. Be viewing Caribbean Passport as we explore the beauty of our region, right here on this station.
Welcome back to Trinidad and Tobago Today on TTT. For everything that you see here on the show, you can head across to TTT Live online and at TNT Today's Show. And if you want to reach us, all you have to do is send us an email at tttoday@ttt.co.tt. Well, from timeless Parang classics to new Christmas-inspired music, Ronoman has spent decades spreading festive cheer. And as one of the early pioneers with music of Christmas in July, the veteran entertainer is really reflecting on his musical journey and his commitment to keeping Trinidad and Tobago's Parang tradition alive. And if you've been following us here at TTT, you know that we celebrated Christmas in July with our sister station, Sweet 100.1 FM. Well, a special treat for you this morning. Faith Chariot has all the details.
I love Parang. I really love Parang, you know. And I work really, really hard towards seeing that Christmas in July could grow. And from right now, it really worldwide now, you know, in a global point of view, and doing well.
For decades, Ronoman has been a familiar voice during the Christmas season, entertaining audiences with his unique blend of Parang soca while staying true to the traditional essence of the genre. He says no matter how modern the music becomes, his goal has always been to ensure every song captures the unmistakable feeling of Christmas.
In Parang, right? No matter if I try to sing soca Parang, it's Parang soca, you know? And more, it's different. You will feel Christmas in my song. You feel more Christmas-ish, well, so to speak, although that's not a word, but you know, you still feel that Christmas flavor in my Parang soca. Yeah, I do it every year. I do these new Parang soca songs, and you still get the Parang, all the Parang taste.
Among his catalogue of music, one song remains especially close to his heart, Merengue Parang.
That song, we really actually, it was a family song many years ago. It was a family song, yeah, on my father's side, you know. But they only keep on, you know, Speaking different, it was more old-fashioned, and I bring it into English, and I put it in a more updated style within that, in 1994.
While Christmas in July has helped introduce Parang to wider audiences, Ronoman believes the genre still has its natural season. Although he has performed at weddings, christening, funerals and parties throughout the year, he says nothing compares to the excitement of the Christmas period. After dedicating much of his life to preserving and promoting Parang music, he says one challenge continues to hold many artists back, that is limited financial support. With Christmas in July closed off, he is already looking ahead to the upcoming festive season, remaining committed to creating new music, proving that for true Parang lovers, the Christmas spirit begins long before December. Faith Chariot, TTT News.
And the curtains have officially closed on the Tobago Heritage Festival for 2026. The final event was held on Emancipation Day with a procession and a cultural show in Scarborough. And the CEO of the Tobago Festivals Commission, who actually will be joining us today on Tobago Thursday, Kern Cohen, believes that 2026 has really been a successful year. And his team is already planning for Tobago Heritage Festival 2027. Can you believe that? And that will mark 40 years since the festival's origin. We have that for you now from Candice Jackson.
The Tobago Heritage Festival climaxed with African Emancipation Day celebrations as Tobagonians gathered to celebrate 192 years since the abolition of slavery. With flambeau alight, tambour bamboo, and drumbeat, celebrations began with a late afternoon procession from James Park to the Scarborough Esplanade. Village groups who participated in the festival danced, sang, and paraded through the streets. The procession then led to a cultural show headlined by 2026 Calypso monarch Terry Lyons and other local performances. Reflecting on the 2026 Tobago Heritage Festival, CEO of the Tobago Festivals Commission, Kern Cohen, said he was pleased with the turnout at community events over the past 2 weeks. He was also impressed with the level of youth participation.
The dancing, the acting, all of the production, that warmed my heart the most, especially in 39th year of the festival, going into 40. I am happy to see that we are moving into a transition of the culture into the next 40 years.
While he noted there were some challenges along the way, Mr. Cowan was pleased that they were able to work with villages to ensure successful productions. He believes that the immersive experiences were some of the best parts of the festival.
Charlottesville was a major highlight. Mariah, fantastic. Belmana Raz, I love those immersive experiences. Tonight at the Emancipation Parade, I had a great time.
Together with feedback they are collecting from patrons, Mr. Cowan said they will be working to see how they can improve these and other experiences in 2027. The Tobago Heritage Festival will be celebrating its 40th anniversary next year, and there will be a focus on making it a homecoming, targeting the diaspora.
What we want to do for 2027 is bring home the people. For 40, bring home the diaspora. There are so many Tobagonians living right in Trinidad that hasn't come home in such a long time. Across the world, in the US and Europe and all over, 40 will be a lot about connecting with the diaspora, bringing them back home and connecting back with the roots.
While the curtains have come down on the 2026 edition, Mr. Cowan is satisfied that the island's story continues to be told to an audience that is eager and willing to listen.
We want to just let everybody know across Tobago, thank you. Thank you for being a part. Thank you for connecting with the culture, the heritage, the traditions, and transitioning into it.
Candice Jackson, TTT News.
Remember, you can find all those stories and more at TTT Live online. As I told you before, if you want to contribute to the show in any way, you want to collaborate with us, we'd love to hear from you. Simply send us an email at tttoday@ttt.co.tt and you can be a part of the conversation that's shaping our nation. Trinidad and Tobago Today, news you can trust and stories that matter. We take a break and come back.
Since 1972, one sound has been living in the heart of Trinidad and Tobago, the longest running radio station in the nation.
We're your holiday soundtrack, whether it's on your day off,
long drives, or house limes. We are always sweet.
This is music with meaning, music with memories.
Music that feels like home.
And it's not just the songs, it's the voices you trust, personalities you've grown with.
Laughter that sounds familiar.
This isn't just radio, it's tradition.
It's memories. It's part of who we are.
Sweet 100.1 FM, the rhythm of our identity, part of your family.
Always 100, guide you on your way. Sweet 100, sweet 100.
Hey, up for this exciting challenge and confident about your business? If you are, the 1020 feature is just what you need. It's where you give your customers 10 reasons in 20 seconds why they should shop by you. This fun-filled feature will be captured, packaged, and aired on television and promoted on social media simultaneously. Small, medium, and large businesses call or WhatsApp 764-3378 or 313-4215. Let's feature your business. 1020 with Junior K. It's affordable, effective, and fun.
Resilient, brave, worthy. 12 majestic women, 12 majestic journeys. Majestic Makeover Season 3, coming soon to TTT and TTT Live online.
Majestic Makeover Season 3 is powered by...
Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like we do. Start your mornings with Ground Report. Andy Pitbull Williams, Lennox Smith, and Nigel Snipes setting the agenda from 6 to 9 a.m. Then it's Off the Record with Stefan Reese and Mr. X, Fearless Talk, and the issues everybody's discussing. Stay connected with Sharon. Take it front with Officer Shabadi. Go beyond limits with Roland Stewart. Drive home with Heavy Duty and David Welch on Under the Radar. And wrap up your day with Kingsley and OB on The Wrap Up. Real talk, real people, real Trinidad and Tobago. Listen live on Talk City 91.1 FM and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Talk City 91.1 FM, the #1 talk station in Trinidad and Tobago.
As artificial intelligence continues to reshape industries around the globe, the question for local economies isn't if digital transformation is coming, but how quickly we can adapt. Over in Tobago, steps are being taken to ensure that businesses, the public sector, and young professionals aren't left behind. Next Thursday, August 13th, Tobago Information Technology Limited is hosting a major symposium titled AI Ready Tobago at the Victor E. Bruce Financial Complex in Scarborough. And joining us now to share what this means for the island's future is TITL Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Ian Williams. Good morning, Mr. Williams. Welcome to the show.
Good morning for you. Thank you for having us again.
And how is Tobago this morning?
Aye. Fine weather, sunshiny, everything is okay on this end.
All right, good to hear. Now, let's talk about AI Ready Tobago. It sounds like a bold initiative. So for our viewers at home this morning, what exactly is the core mission behind this symposium? And why is now the critical moment for Tobago to really push this agenda?
All right, so the central mission is really to ensure that Tobago as an island isn't left behind as artificial intelligence, as you know, is reshaping business, education, government, even the everyday life of the average Joe. All right? We want to move the conversation from just simply hearing about AI, this is AI, what is AI, to understanding how Tobagonians can actively use it. All right, so the symposium is geared and intended to build awareness. We want to reduce that fear factor also. Demonstrate, we'll have a lot of that on Thursday, where we'll demonstrate opportunities for productivity and innovation and so on. And also, most importantly, economic development. All right. We believe, and you spoke to timeliness, that is a critical moment because AI adaptation, not just access, adaptation is accelerating globally. And the decisions that we take now will, in fact, affect Tobago's competitiveness over the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years. All right. We can no longer just be users of the technology. We need to develop our own talent, solutions, build capacity for the island of Tobago. So ultimately, this AI Ready Tobago Summit supports a broader vision of building a smarter, a more innovative, and digitally empowered Tobago.
So who should be sitting in the room at the Victor E. Bruce Financial Complex next Thursday? Is this strictly for tech professionals and IT departments, or is there any tangible value for small business owners, perhaps even educators and, let's just say, public servants?
Yes. So let me say that, of course, the room will have the decision makers because that is very important. But we're not just leaning to the decision makers, the administrators, the secretaries, etc. We're looking at the business owners, entrepreneurs, educators, public servants, already young professionals and community leaders. We also have invites out to places like the tourism associations and so on, because these are some of the areas that we want to see adopting AI to help in their charge in terms of going forward and so on. Right? So if you're a small business owner, you can learn how AI could assist you from marketing and getting your stuff out there to your customer service. One of the biggest problems we have now in business is communication. From time to time, you try to get in contact with a business and to no avail. A whole 24-hour period will pass and you're still looking to reach out. And these are some of the things that the communication tools can help with that. AIs and educators. Let's look at personalized learning. Let's look at taking all that data and creating dashboards so you know what the problem is before we get to the point of examinations, etc. All right, even public officers and so on. How can we use AI in terms of service delivery and making a better delivery and data analysis to make decisions and so on. So this symposium is really for anyone. It's a broad spectrum, and we understand that. We understand that we do have space constraints, which is why we will be going live on multiple platforms, so that even though as we are now heavily subscribed, persons can still benefit from what we are starting with this revolution here in Tobago.
Mr. Williams, when people hear artificial intelligence, sometimes they think of abstract technology or job displacement. AI is coming for our jobs. How will this symposium address practical and real-world tools that even local entrepreneurs and organizations can start using immediately?
So first of all, we want to let persons know that AI is not merely an abstract or some type of futuristic concept. AI is here. So we are gauging this so participants to hear about the tools. We can assist them from their writing to the research, customer support, creation, analysis, and so on. We're going to show again those entrepreneurs how to use AI in promotional content, concepts, and so on. So everything that we're going to bring to you there is not really pie in the sky. It's things that are already operating both here and in external territories, and we're just homing it in so that the local persons can see it in real world and practice. And one of the things that the team is charted to do in this is not just come there and just have a talk show, but simple things from registration all the way to some minor displays of what can be done with the technology. We're going to make some tangible areas that you can feel and interact with the technology to know that it's not just a concept and something abstract thereabout.
I know that TITL has been spearheading ICT development and digital transformation across the island of Tobago. So how does TITL plan to support local businesses beyond next week's event in terms of training, resources, and even technical support?
All right, so one of the things that will come out of the symposium this week, we have about 5 pre-planned and set training sessions geared to different areas for administration, for business, for HR. We have a lot of spin-offs coming from this in terms of the development, teaching persons the tools, and upskilling them to implement AI in the safe and right way within their environments and so on. So we've infused it with those training programs to support businesses. With regards to education, I can boast that Tobago Information Technology, over the last 2 weeks, we opened for our neighboring school, Signal Hill Primary, Government Primary School, an AI lab with 13 computers, touchscreen, access, content, access to a training, tutors, etc. So that we're looking at all levels, from the business, from the layman on the road, even in the schools, to implementing AI. But let me just put a plug there in terms of the schools. You're not just implementing AI and going into a school and say, hey, here is ChatGPT or here is Claude and go start programming. No, we are putting software within there where we can place those guardrails. So it's no longer AI, do my homework for me to carry from Miss tomorrow. No. We are training the AI and placing guardrails so that it doesn't do that. So that the AI will tell you what your homework is about and assist you in doing it, as opposed to generating that and bring it forward. So we keep preaching responsible use, and our role is to help bridge that gap across all segments of Tobago, whether it's business, average Joe, educators, decision makers. We are here. And Tobago Information Technology Limited, we have a very robust partnership networks within the THA, external to the THA, and even beyond the shores of Trinidad and Tobago. And we are leveraging all of these to ensure that we have the best balance in terms of the development part of AI right here in Tobago.
Well, before I ask you to wrap us up with information about the symposium, I want to build on something that you just spoke about in terms of our young people and healthy use of AI and teaching them how to use that in a responsible way. Let's talk a little bit about the youth skill development now and education system. How is TITL working to ensure that students and young professionals in Tobago are equipped for the jobs of tomorrow?
Yeah, definitely. So I just spoke to what we're doing for the Signal Hill Primary School. But in addition to that, every year we keep a STEM camp. And that STEM camp is one of the prime events in terms of training and summer in Tobago. All right. And it's beyond that because we keep it throughout the year also in forms and fashions now. And while persons could get your robotics, your programming, all these different things, we have also infused that with AI now. So we have persons using the code builders, exposing them to AI and so on, and building that path, planting that seed from a very early age. All right. So we are looking at the models that are working in some of the territories like China, etc., and we are bringing that into our STEM program. All right. Early adaptation, so that we have the critical thinking, and that critical thinking is supported by a knowledge of the tools available, and we can look for a better job force in terms of the future, because it is changing rapidly. Jobs that we see today will have a totally different slant in the years to come, and we are preparing the island for that.
Now, before we go, let's talk about the symposium now. It's taking place next Thursday. How can participants register? I know you said there was some limited seating available, so how can we get involved?
Well, I always tell my team there are some good problems to have. We published the symposium about 24, no more than 48 hours ago, and we are almost at capacity. That tells you the need for something like this in Tobago, and this wouldn't be the only one. This is just the beginning of the revolution. So the AI Symposium takes place on Thursday the 13th at the Victor E. Bruce Complex, 5 p.m. It's a nice evening function and setting where we have some of the brightest and best minds in technology and AI. We have our own from Tobago here, Joshua Powder. He'll be doing his piece in terms of bringing all the data that we have collected here in Tobago and bringing the facts and so on and how we could benefit from AI. We also have Dr. Kreb Ramlal, who is the head of that AI department right out of UE. He'll be part of the symposium, bringing all that they have done in UE and seeing how we could shape the narrative in Tobago. And we even have Karen Rose, well-known digit entrepreneur here in Trinidad and Tobago. He will also be part of the slate there. All right. We have a site, aiready.titl.tt. aiready.titl.tt tells you everything about the symposium. The registration will, once we finish doing fact-finding this morning, reopen and so on. And persons have no fear. We also are going live across multiple platforms. So you'll be able to work with us, and it's an interactive session. So even if you don't get the opportunity to be in person, persons online and so on, questions will be entertained, so you could be a part of it. We're using the technology, just like you're seated in the Victor E. Bruce Complex.
Well, thank you very, very much, Ian, for joining us this morning and for giving us a glimpse into where Tobago is headed in the digital space. Have a good day. We'll talk to you soon and have a beautiful Tobago Thursday.
Thank you, Virmala.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Again, AI Ready Tobago takes place next Thursday, August 13th from 5 p.m. at the Victor E. Bruce Financial Complex in Scarborough. Be sure to register early to secure your spot. Spots are limited, as he said. Up next, we take a look back at the recently concluded Heritage Festival. See you after the break.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success, because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
TTT weather with Zaina James, daily at 7 p.m.
Coming up on Caribbean Passport, it's pulsating energy, deep cultural traditions. It's none other than Barbados crop over. Being at one with nature is no problem in Antigua and Barbuda, so let's swim with the stingrays. Fashion that's all-inclusive. And Caribbean tourism is at the forefront in Guyana. Be viewing Caribbean Passport as we explore the beauty of our region, right here on this station.
I'm Renee Sion with another edition of Caribbean Week in Review.
I'm Virmala Balkaran, host of the Socially Safe podcast, the new TTPS podcast where we share real stories, teach real lessons, and create real impact. From online safety and youth crime to community policing and personal responsibility, we go beyond the headlines and talk about what's happening in our communities with the officers and experts who are on the front lines. Because safety starts with awareness, conversation, and action. Tune in to the Socially Safe podcast on the TTPS YouTube channel, listen on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. Don't miss it.
Watch on TTT, Mondays 6 p.m., Tuesdays 1:10 p.m.
Thanks for staying with us on Tobago Thursday. And for the past several weeks, communities across Tobago have been alive with rhythm and storytelling and rich tradition as we celebrated the annual Tobago Heritage Festival. From the iconic Mariah Old Time Wedding and Charlottesville Natural Treasures Day to the Emancipation Day culmination, the island once again brought its vibrant history to life. But as the stage lights dim and the tambourine drums quiet down, it's time to take stock of this year's execution, turnout, and of course, cultural impact. This morning, we're joined by Chief Executive Officer of the Tobago Festivals Commission Limited, Mr. Kern Cowan, to give us a comprehensive wrap-up of the 2026 Tobago Heritage Festival. Good morning and welcome back, Kern. How are you?
Doing well. Good morning to you and good morning to all your viewers this morning.
So now that the curtain has officially closed on the 2026 Tobago Heritage Festival, what's your overall assessment of this year's staging in terms of community participation and, of course, the visitor turnout?
I think this year was one of those years that you saw the villages in particular come out in a really unique way. Every evening, every event was well attended. And I could speak to things like Pembroke, Charlottesville, Mariah, all of those had a very high turnout and a very high turnout of young people. I was really amazed by the amount of young people, not just viewing, but participating. So there is a transition of the culture that is still very palatable to the young people, and that means there is continuity to the traditions that we hold dear to in Tobago, and they will continue to stay alive. Once those traditions are translated in the right way, I think that, for me, was the takeaway in this particular Heritage Festival.
A signature strength of the Heritage Festival is how it moves from village to village. I know we go from Mariah to Lekoto, Charlottesville and Pembroke. So which events or village presentations really stood out this year as major successes?
Strange that you said it like that. Actually, each night connects. There's actually a continuous story. So if you start from the opening night really kind of sets the tone going into the rest of the festival. And then you go to Golden Lane, which is where you call courtship codes. So this is where the young man himself, he really wants to get to marry this young lady, but he has to do this ritual, what they call it, busting the wood, and have to meet the father and the parents and all of that. And then the next day, guess what? They go to Mariah for the old time Tobago wedding, where they do the whole procession and all of that. And then you go further into everything that follows into Charlottesville, the experience of the national treasures and all that follows. But for me, if I have to choose any, I would choose all, because they all had this unique touch that kept the story alive, because each village had a story, and that was the theme of this year. Let me tell the whole story, as even the story continues, because there's a lot more stories to be told and to be heard from Tobago. I think for me, all of it came together in a particular way that gave you one complete event throughout the entire festival. So I can't choose one without choosing the other. And of course, that whole procession at the end at our Emancipation Parade just was the crown that closed it all together and knitted it all together. It was an expression like no other, So I think for me, if you have to ask me the question as to which one, they're all exciting, and they all delivered what they needed to do.
Yeah, now, I know managing a multi-week island-wide festival naturally comes with logistical challenges. That is an incredible task. What key feedback have you received from community groups and stakeholders, and what lessons are you taking forward to improve future stagings?
I mean, well, this is a conversation the team and I were having because the team really put forward their best this year. And I'm talking about the Tobago Festivals Commission staff. I really want to give them, kudos this morning. There's the analysis that must be done this year. Doing, as you rightfully said, a multi-day event or festival like this that goes from day to day to day requires consistency, requires staying on top of each aspect to ensure that there is cohesion, that people are on time, that we don't go out of time, that we manage the elements as best as we can in terms of preparation and coverage, but to stay ahead of the game in terms of ensuring that we stay to the plan. There were some challenges, of course. Yeah, there are always challenges, but I think because we were able to execute every single event the way that we did allowed us to come out successful. Working with each village and each village group and all of the various cultural bodies also allowed us to really kind of stay in tune with what are their needs and what they needed to be able to, what are the resources they required to execute their aspect of what they were charged with. So there were some communication challenges, but nothing to say that stopped the festival or anything that interrupted the flow in any significant way. I thought we really had a smooth flow, a very good connectivity, and we were able to come out telling the whole story.
So beyond cultural preservation, I know that the Heritage Festival is a key economic driver for local vendors, and there's the artisans, the performers, the hospitality providers. How did this year's festival perform in terms of boosting Tobago's orange economy and local business community?
Events like the Heritage Festival are really rooted to the ground and are really connecting as you rightfully say, the village, the ground men, the people who are at the ground level. And it's important that we connect to those as best as we can. You saw that with all of the involvement from each village. One of the things that I saw that was very interesting is that small community shops and small community businesses started sponsoring and being able to assist with even the internal workings of many of the village events. You saw that significantly in places like Pembroke and Mariah, where small businesses actually sponsored, assisted with practices and all of those things that allowed for the missing elements that people don't pay attention to or may not even see, to help ensure that there was coordination. Simple things like a case of water helped, with practices and all of those things. So it's so intricate. Because beyond just the event that happens, there's a lot of preparation before time that requires each and every person that is a part of the system to really play their part. Those who prepare the costumes, those who prepare the props, those who prepare the venues and the part that they play, and even preparation for the actual day itself is very cohesive. And you see a lot of the people coming together to ensure that these things come to life. There was a high what I would call village involvement, and I'm happy to see that. Each and every night had upwards of capacity. In places they needed more chairs, and that tells me that we did what we were supposed to, and the festival in itself gave what it was supposed to do, tell the whole story.
Well, Kern, before we go with the Heritage Festival now behind us, I know we're turning to Tobago Carnival in October. So how is the Festivals Commission really transitioning preparations now? And what can we expect as planning ramps up?
Well, we have never stopped planning. Our role is to keep the ball going. While there are some back-end challenges that we are dealing with on the internal end, we are moving forward. We have already advanced significant planning as it pertains to the Tobago Carnival and the Blue Food Festival, and you will see those rollouts in the coming days, as a matter of fact. So we are already in transition mode. We are already in preparation mode, and it's for us to just keep going and to establish presence in the advertising space, in the marketing space, and start getting things off the ground. There's significant interest, of course, across the diaspora, across the Caribbean and the region altogether, of what the Tobago Carnival is to offer in 2026, and that in itself will be a part of the entire rollout. So it's just to keep your eyes on those things coming in the next couple of days, and we'll follow the story as we go along.
Okay, and thank you so much for joining us this morning and for giving us that post-festival reflections. Congratulations to you and the entire Tobago Festivals Commission team, and of course all the village communities who work so hard to bring our heritage to life. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.
And of course, I just want to say thanks to our sponsors and all who's supporting us through this entire time, like TTT. Thank you so much, guys.
All right, Karen, have a great day. All right, just about 4 minutes before the top of the hour, we've got a short break. Then Carrie's up next with the major network news. Inside the next hour, we continue with Tobago Thursday. We're talking all about a self-defense camp for the differently abled and so much more that you will love to hear.
Why is Talk City 91.1 FM the leading talk station in Trinidad and Tobago? Because nobody delivers conversations like we do. Start your mornings with Ground Report. Andy Pitbull Williams, Lennox Smith, and Nigel Snipes setting the agenda from 6 to 9 a.m. Then it's Off the Record with Stefan Reese and Mr. X, Fearless Talk, and the issues everybody's discussing. Stay connected with Sharon. Take it front with Officer Shabadi. Go beyond limits with Roland Stewart. Drive home with Heavy Duty and David Welch on Under the Radar. And wrap up your day with Kingsley and OB on The Wrap Up. Real talk, real people, real Trinidad and Tobago. Listen live on Talk City 91.1 FM and follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Talk City 91.1 FM, the #1 talk station in Trinidad and Tobago.
This August, join TTT as we celebrate emancipation through a month of culture, history, and entertainment. In collaboration with the Emancipation Support Committee of Trinidad and Tobago, experience the Pan-African Festival as it unfolds across your screens. Beginning with the historic Emancipation Ceremony, live from downtown Port of Spain on August 1st, Emancipation Day, TTT brings you a month-long lineup of festival highlights, including the Youth Band Extravaganza, Pan-African Night Concert, Unity Reggae Concert, and much more. Delve into our history, heritage, and the contributions of our African descendants through powerful documentaries that preserve stories of resilience, identity, and legacy. Plus, enjoy a selection of entertaining films and dramatic stories to round out your viewing experience. This August, connect with the culture, the stories, and the moments on TTT and ttt.live/stream.
Resilient, brave, worthy. 12 majestic women, 12 majestic journeys. Majestic Makeover Season 3, coming soon to TTT and TTT Live Online.
Majestic Makeover Season 3 is powered by...
Hey, up for this exciting challenge and confident about your business? If you are, the 10-20 feature is just what you need. It's where you give your customers 10 reasons in 20 seconds why they should shop by you. This fun-filled feature will be captured, packaged, and aired on television and promoted on social media simultaneously. Small, medium, and large businesses call or WhatsApp 764-3378 or 313-4215. Let's feature your business. 1020 with Junior K. It's affordable, effective, and fun.
Good morning. This is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. The Ministry of Health's procurement process came under increased scrutiny during a Public Administration and Appropriations Committee hearing, where questions over the selection of pharmaceutical suppliers for payment were compounded by conflicting correspondence. PwC Chairman Jagdeo Singh had difficulty deciphering what he described as a curious confluence of circumstances. Principal Medical Officer in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Miriam Abdul-Richards, who also formerly served as chairman of NIPDEC, was unable to provide a clear explanation of the criteria used to prioritize payments to pharmaceutical suppliers.
What could conceivably explain the smaller companies being denied payment of their monies, whilst the bigger companies were paid?
I'm unable to say because I was not part of that prioritization process.
Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health, Asif Ali, backtracked to 2023, recalling outstanding bills amidst limited funding.
So it's not that we said to NIPDEC, do not pay the small suppliers, leave them out. We said, use the loan funds to pay those suppliers, and the Ministry of Health would use our funds to pay the smaller suppliers. And that was.
However, Chairman Singh challenged that account, citing email correspondence. Mr. Ali sought to explain the decision-making process, including the role played by former Health Minister Terence Dialsingh. Committee member Saddam Hussein questioned whether officials had met with pharmaceutical suppliers, and Dr. Miriam Abdul-Richards confirmed that meetings had occurred. In other news, a growing concern has emerged over the number of students leaving Trinidad and Tobago's education system without full academic qualifications. The issue was highlighted by Education Minister Dr. Michael Dowlath and Tertiary Education Minister Professor Prakash Prasad. Speaking at the MIC Institute of Technology's National Engagement for Guidance and Counseling Professionals on Wednesday, Minister Prasad revealed this applied to more than 12,000 secondary school students.
They don't have full certificates, C-Sec certificates. Where are they? What become of them? They comprise of two sets of people, those who have gone through the school system and those who fell off or didn't go, period.
Education Minister Dr. Michael Dowlath said the problem begins long before students reach C-Sec examinations.
In the SCA exam for 2025 last year, 6,000 students made less than 50%. So close to 18,000, right? And then when our students get into secondary school, close to 18,000 enter, and just at about 14,000 write the C-Sec. So it means that along the way, some of them drop out of the system or have to move out because probably of the kind of challenges they have in life.
He said the Education Ministry is implementing a plan to address the issue by targeting 21 secondary schools for enhanced technical and vocational training. The initiative includes providing additional resources to strengthen these subject areas and align them with educational pathways, leading to institutions such as MIC, YTEP, and NESC. In sport, the TNT netball team returned from the Commonwealth Games and was greeted by family members and officials on arrival at the Piarco International Airport. TNT fielded one of the youngest teams at the Games with the exception of a few veterans. Despite not winning a game, the captain said it was good exposure for the future crop of players.
We did leave here with a young team. I would like to say that I'm happy that they got to experience what hard netball is. And on the world stage, they are the future netballers. And well, for myself, I'm on my way out. So in a couple years, when they got the next opportunity to take the world stage, they will be better prepared.
And that's what's making the news at this time. But when we come back after the break, Virmala's in with our number 2 of Trinidad and Tobago Today. Stay tuned.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
Whatever the skies bring, stay prepared with TTT Weather. Committed, accurate, relevant.
Coming up on Caribbean Passport, it's pulsating energy, deep cultural traditions. It's none other than Barbados crop over. Being at one with nature is no problem in Antigua and Barbuda, so let's swim with the stingrays. Fashion that's all-inclusive. And Caribbean tourism is at the forefront in Guyana. Be viewing Caribbean Passport as we explore the beauty of our region, right here on this station.
Hey, up for this exciting challenge and confident about your business? If you are, the 1020 feature is just for you. It's where you give your customers 10 reasons in 20 seconds why they should shop by you. This fun-filled feature will be captured, packaged, and aired on television and promoted on social media simultaneously. Small, medium, and large businesses call or WhatsApp 764-3378 or 313-4215. Let's feature your business. 1020 with Junior K. It's affordable, effective, and fun.
There are a number of risk factors for heart disease, so a lot of attention has to be put towards preventive cardiology. What can we do to reduce the burden due to all these risk factors? Hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol, need to stop cigarette smoking, you gotta get people exercising.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
Welcome back to Tobago Thursday on Trinidad and Tobago Today. Empowerment and confidence and independence were front and center last Friday as the Division of Community Development, Diversity and Social Protection hosted the graduation ceremony for its Strength Beyond All Limits Self-Defense Camp. The two-week program executed by the Diversity and Inclusion Unit alongside the Trinidad and Tobago Budokan brought together 36 participants with disabilities from across Tobago to learn practical safety techniques and personal boundaries and abuse prevention. To share the impact of this groundbreaking initiative is Mr. Nigel Phillips, Gender Officer within the Gender Affairs Unit and Diversity and Inclusion Unit of the division. Good morning and welcome to the show, Nigel.
Hi, good morning. Good morning to everyone and good morning to all the viewers.
So the division recently celebrated the graduation of 36 participants from the Strength Beyond Our Limits Self-Defense Camp. What inspired the Gender Affairs and Diversity and Inclusion Units to really launch this specific program for persons with disabilities?
Well, let me just say this program dated back in 2023, 2024 as a pilot project, which was taken where the gender unit took charge of that particular project under the UN Spotlight Initiative. And that project was to provide the support for persons with disability, the various skills to defend themselves against sexual violence, against perpetrators, and to understand boundaries and safe spaces. It also was to give them the confidence and just to understand and to recognize abuse, and basically to understand their rights and to protect themselves. So this program was to give them a voice, and you would have opened up in terms of talking about empowerment, and it also was to empower them in terms of having a sense of belonging and safety for themselves.
So while self-defense often brings to mind physical moves, I know that this 2-week camp also covered critical topics like consent and healthy relationships and personal boundaries and abuse prevention. Why was it so important to blend physical safety with personal awareness?
You see, when persons think about persons with disabilities, right? It is a challenge. It is a challenge to sometimes for they to carry about their everyday life, to do certain tasks and those things, and it makes them prone to predators, sexual predators. It makes them prone to gender-based violence. So what we did was basically was to have these students to understand a self of belonging, to understand that they are just like any and everybody else in society, and also that they should be respected regardless of their disability, because sometimes persons see persons with disability as a non-entity and they are sometimes forgotten. So what we try to do was to demonstrate, that they can have some form of self-esteem, some form of confidence, that they can operate in a space just like everybody else. And as I said, is understanding safe spaces where they can operate and have those healthy boundaries and to know their rights to protect themselves so that they would not be taken advantage of in their everyday life, if it's at school, if it's at home, or if it's in the community, in the villages, and those things like that. So it's giving them that space, giving them that voice, and giving them that sense of belonging to operate like any normal citizen in Trinidad and Tobago.
I also know that you partnered with Shihan Marcus Reyes and Sensei Leo Grant of the Trinidad and Tobago Budokan to deliver the hands-on training. How did the instructors tailor these sessions to match the diverse abilities of students from schools, I know, like the Happy Haven, TechVoc, and the School for the Hearing Impaired as well?
Right. So every person with a disability, they would have worked with their challenges. So it was not just about everybody being able-bodied or to understand on every level. So what these instructors did, they are trained in that particular area to see and to treat every disability differently. They were able to see their weakness and to work on their weakness. They were able to see some of them with their strengths and even to improve those strengths. So it was actually working. It's not just about the physical, but also teaching them, motivating them and to understand that even though they have their disability, it is not a setback. It was about going beyond. It is about learning new things. It's about speaking out. It's about having that confidence in yourself to say, well, I can do this. I could do this even though that person see me differently and those things like that. So they were able to work with their strengths, they were able to work with their weaknesses, and they were able to work, and everyone in the surroundings were able to work together as one in this camp that we would have had over the 2 weeks.
I saw this testimonial. One participant, Anisha Mohammed, shared how the camp taught her to recognize when she feels uncomfortable and how to set firm boundaries. What kind of emotional and behavioral transformation did you see in the participants over the 2-week period?
When I saw those testimonials happen on the graduation day, I was very emotional to the point. And as a male, males could be emotional. I had some sort of a teary eye because you know what? I was happy to see that we had an impact on persons' life who thought that they were forgotten. I was happy to see that the gender unit in the Division of Community Development and Social Protection can deliver programs such as these and to take that mantle and to take the lead to show the world, to show Trinidad and Tobago, to show the Caribbean that that we do have a heart for persons with disability, that we want to provide the support for persons with disability, that we love persons with disabilities, and that we can empower them to go beyond and to do their best. So it was very impactful. It was very emotional to persons who were there. And I would say we would have achieved what we wanted to achieve, to see the smiles on the faces of those persons who would have partaken in the camp, and to see the unity and the camaraderie among the students itself and their display in terms of what was learned over the period of the 2 weeks. So it was very impactful, and going forward is something that we want to continue and to encourage other organizations to provide the same support for persons with disabilities.
Let's talk a little bit about public perception now. So during the ceremony, leadership noted that this camp shattered boundaries and challenged misconceptions about living with a disability. So from an institutional perspective, how does an initiative like this really help to shape and shift public perception across Tobago?
Well, the ideology of having to say no, because one person say that if you're disabled, that they see you as an opportunity, as a prey for sexual violence or for sexual perpetrators and gender-based violence, is the opportunity to, when we say shatter boundaries, is in having to speak out and know when to speak out or how loud to speak out. Is the opportunity of having the self-esteem to know that even though I'm a person or with disability, my life still matters. My life still have a say, I'm still part of the scheme. I'm still a citizen and I'm not forgotten. So when we say shatter boundaries, it is that the fact that besides giving a voice, we are also advocating for persons with disability to be recognized in the workspace and to given the necessary respect where it's needed, not to be looked down upon, not to be criticized to say that they cannot do a certain task over somebody else, but to know that they could operate just like anybody else, but within their own space, within their own strength, within their own ability to be part in providing the support that is needed in a family, in their village, in their communities, in every single thing. So when we say shattered boundaries, we want this program to reach persons in Trinidad, in the Caribbean, to know that consideration should be given to persons that they can know how to protect themselves when that time comes, with a situation that may arise of sexual violence or gender-based violence and those things like that. So it is us about shattering the ceiling. It is us as Tobago taking the lead, in this initiative to show other persons that what they can do to provide the support where needed.
Really loving the pictures we've been seeing on the screen while we've been having this conversation, Nigel. And now that this cohort of 36 graduates has received their certificates, what's next for the division? Are there plans perhaps to make Strength Beyond All Limits an ongoing series or expand into other inclusive empowerment programs?
This program would be one of the staples for the diversity unit in the Division of Community Development and Social Protection. So this program is not just a one-off, but this is, as I said earlier on, it's the second program and it's running. And the last program, we would have had like about 21 students, and this program, we would have had like about 36 students. So what we want to see happening is that we want to have it practically in the schools that we would have targeted, like Happy Haven, School for the Deaf, TechVoc, and Transformation Foundation School, is to have it part of their curriculum, and so that they can have it as part of their a program like PE or physical education ever so often, that they can learn self-defense skills and those things like that. So we already has a program within the division headed by the Technical Vocational Center for Persons with Disabilities, where we have persons with disabilities who are working throughout various spaces in the Tobago House of Assembly where they perform in certain tasks. So that would also give you the indication that we are trying to be very inclusive in terms of the support that we give to persons with disability, to show that they can be also included in the workplaces as well, but also given the other aspect in terms of being respected, in terms of learning the various skills that will prevent them from abuse, either it be physical or verbal abuse, when to speak out and those things, and when to know safe spaces and to understand the boundaries in terms of where you allow persons to go and where you do not allow persons to go.
Thank you so much, Nigel, for joining us this morning and for sharing the remarkable success of the Strength Beyond All Limits camp. And congratulations to all the graduates, as well as all of you at the division. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.
Same to you. Thank you very much.
All right, take care. All right, the time now, 20 minutes after 7 o'clock on a beautiful Tobago Thursday. Stay tuned. We have more coming up right after this short break.
The plays that shake the arenas. The stories that move a nation. From football to cricket, track to tennis, every win, every rivalry, every headline. This is where Trinidad and Tobago come for sports.
TTT Sports with Nasira Mohammed, daily at 7 p.m.
Resilient, brave, worthy. 12 majestic women, 12 majestic journeys. Majestic Makeover Season 3, coming soon to TTT and TTT Live online.
Majestic Makeover Season 3 is powered by
I'm Jamila Bannister, host of the Socially Safe podcast, the new TTPS podcast where we share real stories, teach real lessons, and create real impact. From online safety and youth crime to community policing and personal responsibility, we go beyond the headlines and talk about what's happening in our communities with the officers and experts who are on the front lines. Because safety starts with awareness, conversation, and action. Tune in to the Socially Safe podcast on the TTPS YouTube channel, listen on Apple Podcasts, and on Spotify. Don't miss it.
Watch on TTT, Mondays, 6 p.m., Tuesdays, 1:10 p.m.
Ever wondered what happens before the lights come on? Before the crowd pours in? Before the magic hits the stage? This is your all-access pass. Sneak Peek with Junior K takes you behind the scenes of the biggest cultural moments and the hottest events across TNT. From the sound checks to the stage setups, from final rehearsals to exclusive interviews. If it's about to be big, we're already there. Catch Sneak Peek airing daily on TTT and relive every moment on all our social media platforms. Sneak Peek with Junior K, where the story starts before the spotlight.
Zana James with your weather update. Thursday will be another warm and predominantly sunny day as dry air and a mild to moderate concentration of Saharan dust continue to dominate our weather. So while a brief shower is possible during the morning, most areas are expected to remain dry with temperatures climbing to around 33 degrees in Trinidad and 32 degrees in Tobago. Across our seas, marine conditions will remain moderate, with wave heights nearing 1.5 meters in open waters and up to 1 meter in sheltered areas. Breezy conditions are also expected, with occasional gusts possible near isolated showers.
Thank you so much, Zaina. Oof, Saharan dust, mild to moderate, and I can already feel it. Also, did you know, before we get to the next guest, that there's a big question about whether AI is actually helping students to get better grades or it's just making them lazy? Well, as AI use increased, a study in China found that homework scores went up by 18%. In-class exam scores went down 20%, and those exams were done without AI. And there was another study that looked at almost 1,000 high school math students, and they're basically saying that students using a normal AI chatbot did much better during the practice. So the key takeaway from all of this, AI can be a great assistant, but it should not become a replacement for thinking. And, you know, there's such a challenge for schools these days, universities, tertiary education institutions, also just secondary schools, even primary schools, that AI would, you know, replace children's ability or students' abilities to work hard and to think for themselves. But of course, we need to use it to complement the way that we learn. Just a little something for you this morning. In case you're worried about AI taking over, you just need to be able to use it in a healthy way. Well, continuing with Tobago Thursday today, among the most anticipated highlights of the annual Tobago Heritage Festival is the crowning of the Miss Tobago Heritage Personality, a platform that celebrates beauty and talent, intelligence, and a deep-rooted commitment to preserving our island's rich traditions. Under this year's theme, Daughters of Drums and Dreams, 7 outstanding young women took the stage at the Shore Park Cultural Complex. Emerging victorious with her powerful talent performance and striking gown was Kiara Bailey, representing the Encore Dance Academy. She joins us now with a brand new crown and sash as well. Kiara, good morning and congratulations.
Thank you. Good morning.
How are you this morning? Are you soaking it all up, and how have you been celebrating?
Yes, I've definitely been soaking it all up. I'm feeling good. I'm also trying to get in the rest because there were a lot of sleepless nights. So, yes. Yeah.
I can only imagine, but you know, your hard work definitely paid off. So again, congratulations, and take us back to Thursday night at the Shore Park Complex when your name was announced as the winner. What was going through your mind, and what does holding this prestigious title really mean to you?
Wow, when my name was announced, I was overwhelmed with emotions. I cried. It was a moment of disbelief and also relief, because it would have all now came to an end. In that moment, all I could think, as you said, was hard work really does pay off. And I immediately thought about everyone who prayed, supported, and believed in me throughout the journey. I was also incredibly proud because I am the assistant dance director at the Encore Dance Theatre. And this was the first time Encore Dance Theatre would have entered the Heritage Personality Competition. And together, we brought the crown home. It truly felt like a win for the entire team and not just for me.
You looked so beautiful. I'm seeing some of the footage on the screen right now. Absolutely stunning outfit. And your winning talent piece was equally as beautiful. It was a moving monologue with dance elements, I believe titled Stronger Than Hunger. And that explored faith and endurance and community support. So tell me now, what inspired that concept and how did you prepare to bring such an emotional story to life on stage?
So, Stronger Than a Hunger was inspired by the resilience of our people and the strength that comes from faith, hope, and community. This piece was written by Mr. Tariq Santano and Ms. Osun Trim. And I would say that Tobagonians have faced challenges, but we've always found ways to get through it. I wanted the audience to experience that journey, both through humor and emotionally. For them to understand that while there may be pain and hardship, faith, hope, and community reminds us that there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. And to create this performance was not easy. As someone who's an active dancer, I naturally express myself better through movement. So slowing down and focusing on the acting and storytelling was one of the biggest challenges to me because I would not have done acting since high school. I did theater arts in fifth form at the Signal Hill Secondary School, and that would have been the last time I had done it. So characterization was difficult to me because I didn't just have to become the character, I had to become character rather than simply perform the piece, and it required a lot of emotional vulnerability, discipline, and hours of rehearsal.
Kiara, I have to talk about your evening gown portrayal. Oh my goodness. I believe it was called Bound by the Drum, and this featured a dramatic goat skin coat that revealed that gold and red dress beneath that we're seeing. How did that design capture the spirit of Tobago's heritage and this year's theme, Daughters of Drums and Dreams?
So Bound by the Drum was, for me, as you said, it was more than an evening gown. It told a story. It was inspired by the journey of the traditional Tobago drum, showing how raw materials are transformed to create something so beautiful that represents Tobago's culture. The goat skin represented the making of the drum before it found its voice and before it became an instrument, right? And the gold and red gown symbolized the heartbeat of our culture. The gown was also a tribute to my unsung daughter, Miss Darcel Cook, whose creativity and dedication helped preserve Tobago's culture. So, together, the design beautifully reflected this year's theme, Daughters of Drums and Dreams, by depicting the drum and by honoring the women whose legacy continues to inspire future generations.
I love that red piece at the bottom. It is stunning. Absolutely beautiful, Kiara. So after you received the crown, you shared a really inspiring message encouraging young people to step into the light and don't let fear dull your passion. Tell me, how did taking part in this pageant really push you out of your comfort zone, and what did you learn about yourself throughout this journey?
I would say that this pageant challenged me in ways I never imagined. It required me to be vulnerable, disciplined, and confident, even in moments of uncertainty. There were times when I questioned myself, but I learned that growth happens when we choose courage over comfort. I also like to live by the saying, faith over fear. And throughout this journey, I would have discovered a much stronger Kiara and a much more resilient Kiara. And I also was able to see how supported and loved I am by the persons that truly believe in me.
So Kiara, along with the crown, I know you received that $25,000 scholarship and that cash prize to support your future endeavors. So as Tobago's new cultural ambassador, what key projects or youth initiatives do you plan to focus on during your reign?
So one of my main priorities is establishing a youth cultural ambassador program. I want to see this create opportunities for the younger persons to engage with Tobago's heritage through dance, storytelling, music, and drums, right? And this can also help them develop leadership and communication skills, and also further equip them to be good ambassadors for Tobago with or without a title. I also hope to partner with schools and other cultural organizations to make heritage more educational based and where it can be engaged throughout the year, because I truly believe that our heritage should be celebrated every day or throughout the year rather than just during the Heritage Festival.
And for young women across Tobago who watched you on stage and might be considering stepping forward, for a future Heritage Personality competition, what advice would you give them this morning, Kiara, about preparing for this particular platform or similar platforms?
Well, recently I wrote a social media post inspiring them, and I said to them, I said, people may doubt you. They may say you're not good enough or question whether you deserve success, but never allow the opinions of others to dim the light God placed within you. Let your light shine so brightly that no matter what is said about you, it never changes who you are. Let your passion speak louder than your fear and always remain your authentic self. Songs may fade and titles may change, but the courage to stand confidently in who you are will last a lifetime. To every future Heritage Personality contestant, enter this journey with confidence, humility, and a genuine love for our culture. Don't try to become anyone else to impress others, because in the end, your authenticity is your greatest. Whether you leave with the crown or not, or you have inspired someone, creating meaningful connections grow as a person and deepen your appreciation for your heritage, then you have already won.
What a profound way to wrap up this morning. Thank you, Kiara. And congratulations again on a well-deserved victory and a stunning performance. We are so, so proud of you. We wish you all the success during your reign as Miss Tobago Heritage Personality 2026. And we look forward to seeing the positive impact that you'll make across our communities. Have a beautiful Tobago Thursday.
Thank you, and thank you for having me. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Have a great one, Kiara. And of course, today we have the link up for you with Mark Anthony and Nicholas White. That's coming up in a short bit. But Prime Minister Kamla Prasad-Bisesa says 82 murders recorded so far this year could have been avoided had those involved let love have the last word instead of anger. According to the Prime Minister, the figure includes 40 murders linked to altercations, 30 motivated by revenge, and 12 stemming from domestic disputes. She said those killings could have been prevented if those involved had exercised emotional control and physical restraint. Mrs. Prasad-Bisesa also noted that gang-related murders have declined from 273 in 2024 to 122 in 2025, with 78 recorded so far in 2026. She said while progress is being made in tackling gang violence, citizens also have a responsibility to help reduce crime by rejecting anger and embracing forgiveness. And 4 municipal police officers suspended after the April murder of acting Corporal Anushka Eversley and the theft of firearms from the San Fernando Municipal Police Station have returned to duty. TTPS Corporate Communications Manager Joanne Archie confirmed that the officers resumed active duty about a month ago, while the suspended superintendent remains off the job. She said investigations into the murder and firearms theft are continuing. And the Public Administration and Appropriations Committee has questioned the Ministry of Health's role in deciding which pharmaceutical suppliers were paid by NIPDEC. The committee raised concerns after evidence showed the ministry made recommendations on how loan funds should be allocated among suppliers, despite NIPDEC being the independent state agency responsible for procurement and payments. Health Ministry Permanent Secretary Asif Ali said the ministry's recommendations were based on protecting the supply of critical medicines, including oncology and HIV drugs, during a period of limited funding. However, committee members also questioned why then Health Minister Terence Diao-Singh was briefed on the proposed payment allocations if he had no formal role in the payment process. Committee Chairman Jagdeo Singh expressed dissatisfaction with the explanation, saying that he had a very real difficulty accepting the arrangement. And moving on now, the Caribbean Premier League will honor West Indies cricket legend Sir Garfield Sobers with a minute's applause before the opening match at each CPL venue this season. The tribute will allow fans across the Caribbean to celebrate Sobers' legacy following his death on July 17th at age 89. Widely regarded as cricket's greatest all-rounder, Sobers played 93 tests for the West Indies, scoring over 8,000 runs and taking 235 wickets. CPL organisers say further tributes will continue throughout the tournament, with the final set for his home ground, Kensington Oval. And remember, for all the stories that you see here and more, head across to TTT Live online. If you want to be a part of the show as well, simply send us an email at tttoday@ttt.co.tt. Our social media platforms are on the screen for you now. Follow us everywhere and engage with our content. We love to hear from you. We take a break and come back.
Every client deserves expertise, integrity, and guidance they can trust. At Camino Realty International, we deliver integrated real estate solutions, sales, rentals, property management, and project development. Driven by excellence, transparency, and innovation, we protect value, create opportunity, and build lasting success. Because real estate isn't just about buildings. For more information on our services, log on to CaminoRealty.com or follow us on social media at Camino Realty TT. Camino Realty International, elevating lives one property at a time.
There are a number of risk factors for heart disease, so a lot of attention has to be put towards preventive cardiology. What can we do to reduce the burden due to all these risk factors? Hypertension, diabetes, cholesterol, you need to stop cigarette smoking, you gotta get people exercising.
Be viewing Caribbean Medical TV on this station.
This August, join TTT as we celebrate emancipation through a month of culture, history, and entertainment. In collaboration with the Emancipation Support Committee of Trinidad and Tobago, experience the Pan-African Festival as it unfolds across your screens. Beginning with the historic Emancipation Ceremony, live from downtown Port of Spain on August 1st, Emancipation Day, TTT brings you a month-long lineup of festival highlights, including the Youth Band Extravaganza, Pan-African Night Concert, Unity Reggae Concert, and much more. Delve into our history, heritage, and the contributions of our African descendants through powerful documentaries that preserve stories of resilience, identity, and legacy. Plus, enjoy a selection of entertaining films and dramatic stories to round out your viewing experience. This August, connect with the culture, the stories, and the moments on TTT and ttt.live/stream.
Coming up on Caribbean Passport, it's pulsating energy, deep cultural traditions. It's none other than Barbados crop over. Being at one with nature is no problem in Antigua and Barbuda, so let's swim with the stingrays. Fashion that's all-inclusive. And Caribbean tourism is at the forefront in Guyana. Be viewing Caribbean Passport as we explore the beauty of our region, right here on this station.
Today, good morning, Sway.
This is The Link Up with Sweet 100.1 FM.
On Thursdays, we connect with another one of our sister stations to have a little chat on how the week has been going and what they're up to on air. This is The Link Up with Sweet 100.1 FM. Good morning, Mark and Nicholas.
Good morning, Virmala.
Good morning to you, Virmala. How are you doing this morning?
I am doing good. I am so glad the week is almost over, but I'm happy to see you both here today.
Friday Eve.
Yeah, it is. How has the shift been?
Good so far, and I saw that you started off talking about Tobago today, and there's so many things that that took place over the last week in terms of the celebrations that led up to the emancipation,
the heritage,
in Tobago. The Miss Afro TNT in South last week, Thursday also. So a number of things that took place. Nicholas, did you get a chance to visit the village?
I didn't.
Didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance either.
Yeah, there was a lot happening, and I know you all were very busy too. I saw a lot. I want to ask you about that. How was Christmas in July? So you had a great time right here in our studio. So we saw all the action taking place right here. You were live on Instagram, I believe. Give me a little, a little debrief. What happened?
Christmas in July was fantastic, boy. I feel like I'm still tired from since then.
It was super great. I mean, it was the finale that we had in the studio there because we had performers passing through.
Yes.
Eddie Charles was there. We would have had Marcia Miranda, Crazy, Los Amigos Cantadores, and so much more. Blackie came, and Chris Rojas.
That's my favorite. I love when Blackie performs. I mean, there's a specific song that I am
Blackie would be blushing.
front.
He would be blushing this morning.
Yeah. He'll be
I am
loving it this
usually
morning.
in front when that song comes on, and I
Loving this morning. And we also had members from the office of the
Intellectual Properties.
The Intellectual Properties Office. They want to parang the office, and instead of we parang the office, they came to us. So they had a treat in celebrating Christmas in July, the finale with us, and it was awesome. And they lamented that they needed that break, and it was really a good vibe for them as well. So it was good. It was good vibe all around.
Yeah. What about the food? I mean, Mark, I heard that you came here specifically for the Christmas food. So I hope that you weren't disappointed, because, that would be really sad.
It shows, when you're looking at me on the camera, it shows that I had a good time last week. So I'm going to try to cut back this week, because I've been doing my little workout and stuff, and that's been going pretty good so far. And last night I had the chance to pass a fella last night, Nick. If you see my boy, he was blowing, and I disrespectfully passed him. I passed him. Nick, after when I passed him, he sat down on the bench around the savannah and blowing. I was like, come on.
I love how Mark hypes up himself.
You see a boy.
Yes, he does hype up, and he passed one person from Malady. One person in 2 weeks around the savannah. He passed one person. He talk about the old man that lap him twice. There's an old man that lap him twice on the savannah.
That's okay. It doesn't matter who he passed. He just passed somebody.
He just passed somebody.
So proud of you.
It starts with one.
It starts with one.
I'm so proud of you guys.
I said, this is the end. And a new beginning has come.
If you pass the slowest person around the savannah, then you were no longer.
I didn't say the slowest person. I passed one.
Then you were no longer.
No, but you get your props because you're doing better. You pass the slowest person, which means you get
no
in there.
longer the slowest person.
You get through.
That sounds like a SEA paper kind of question,
Thank
you. Oh gosh.
Dear student, here's the question: if you pass the slowest person, what does that make you, Mark? Mark, I love you. I'm so sorry. This is why you don't like when Nicholas is there, because then we gang up for you. I'm so sorry. It's all a love, though. It's all a love. So, gentlemen. Before we go, did you see that Vibes Cartel and his new baby mama? It's all happening again.
Yes.
Again? Yeah. I didn't.
No,
I was out of the loop.
Oh, sorry, the fiance. I'm corrected. But they're together again. I thought they broke up.
Oh,
well,
I thought so too.
That's what I said, baby mama, because she is having a baby. And I saw he bought her some nice tennis bracelet and the whole shebang. I love that.
Papa,
I really love that for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, I will talk to you soon, and have a beautiful day. I will
have a great Thursday.
Enjoy your Thursday.
All right, have a good one. That was the link up with Sweet 100.1 FM.
Today, good morning, Sweet.
This is the link up with Sweet 100.1 FM.
Well, before we head back to Tobago Thursday, I just spoke about the dangers of AI, especially for students. But did you know, I know you know this, AI isn't all bad. In healthcare, it can actually help to save lives and improve patient care. Because apparently in the UK, AI is already helping doctors analyze medical scans and detect illnesses earlier and identify patients who may be at risk. So it's not all that bad. Everything in moderation and, of course, with healthy use. Well, continuing with Tobago Thursday, it is recognized as one of the longest running, most challenging open water powerboat races in the entire world. Spanning 90 miles, roughly 90 miles from the Gulf of Paria in Trinidad through the turbulent Bocas along the rugged north coast and across the open ocean into Store Bay, Tobago. The iconic Great Race returns for its 58th edition. Boat crews, mechanics and fans across both islands are gearing up for the high-speed action, strategy and sheer endurance on the high seas. Joining us this morning to break down the preparations, race routes and safety measures for this year's spectacle is the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Powerboat Association, Mr. Stefan Scott Lewis. Good morning, Stefan. Welcome to the show.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you this morning? Busy, I can only imagine.
I'm good. I love that introduction. You actually got me excited to watch the race.
Well, look at that. That's good. So let's talk about the Great Race now. It's a staple in Trinidad and Tobago's sporting calendar with over 5 decades of history. That's a long time, and people are always looking forward to this. So as we approach now the 58th staging, wow, that's a long time. What is the level of excitement now among the racing community, and what makes this year's edition stand out?
So it is a great question, and I share the same sentiment as everyone who is involved. We are extremely excited year after year when Great Race enters when we enter into the part of the year that Great Race takes place. We are all excited. It comes with the excitement of the preparation of having the boats ready, of hearing the boats run on the water, of the camaraderie that happens with all of the teams when it comes to each class that runs. We are all excited, especially with this race being more of a challenge for each person rather than a competition with each team. And each one of the team members are very excited to now run this year for sure. Heading into Tobago.
So from high-octane 130-mile-per-hour spectacle boats down to the competitive spec and pleasure classes, tell me, how is the fleet looking across the various categories this year, and who are some of the key contenders that we should keep an eye on?
So definitely, you know that we have 9 different classes of boat racing, from the 130 mile an hour, and we have the ever famous Mr. Solo. He's back on the waters for sure. I know that last weekend we had our boat show, which was held on Arpita Avenue on Adam Smith Square, and a lot of persons, they did not see Mr. Solo, and it raised a lot of questions, and they were very concerned that they were not going to see him. However, I'm here to confirm that he is on the ball. He is gonna be there. He was just taking some time to make sure that the boat is ready. But Mr. Solo, who is the most famous boat, he is going to be there for sure. We have from the 120 mile an hour with Iron Man, who is sponsored by Mecca Fab. He is going to be there as well. And then we have Track Mobile, Shell Outlaw, and we have the entire list of boats going down. What I would like to say is that we have the 60 mile an hour class, which would have the most participation when it comes to the boats. That class, for sure, would be the class to pay attention to, because the competition is going to be very, very high.
Let's talk about the course now, Stefan. It takes the vessels from Chagaramas through the Bocas, along Trinidad's north coast, and even across to Tobago and Tobago. So for our viewers watching at home this morning, can you explain the unique water conditions that the crews would face along each leg of that 90-mile journey?
So yes, so it is a very, very big challenge to run from Trinidad into Tobago. What I would like to say is that for the past couple of years, we have been experiencing very flat waters. Strange enough, and it has been all the way into Tobago. What is the most exciting part of this journey is going on to the Boca and then leaving Grand Riviere and heading into Tobago, where the waters, what we like to say, has the most chop, right? And this is where it separates the average or the amateur racers with the professional racers, who technically have no fear when it comes to hitting those waters and just taking it all the way full throttle.
And staging an offshore race like this across inter-island waters, I can only imagine, Stefan, requires massive logistical precision and strict safety measures. So are you working with the Coast Guard, maybe the Maritime Police, any medical teams to ensure the full safety of both the competitors and the spectator craft?
Oh, yes, so definitely. So we have 2 parts that we manage our safety very closely. On the water, we have while on the boats, we have our GPS system. We have 2 GPS systems that we handle, where the boys are being tracked for their speed, as well as On the other hand, they are being tracked for their location. Because it is a very long race and it heads across from one island to the next, we have our system that would now track each boat individually to pinpoint their location. And if it is at any point they are in distress, we can now identify and render any safety assistance that they need. Apart from that, we work very closely with our Coast Guard as well as the Chaguaramas development and any maritime services that can be able to render services, as well as we have a lot of safety boats. Well, we call it safety boats that would be along the entire line of the coast from Trinidad all the way from foreshore into all the way to Grand River and then all the way into Tobago. Some of these boys do it as they love because they do it year after year and they make it mandatory for them to be out there at any point in time when it is we need the assistance for sure. And on land itself, we have our medical team that is present at different points along the coast, where it would be Chaguaramas. We have 2 points in Chaguaramas. Then we have Maracas Bay, and then we have down at Grand River, where we have a medical team waiting to render any assistance if it is, God forbid, there's any accident. And then we have our team in Tobago that is just waiting to jump into action if needed.
Stefan, any closing comments? Talk to the fans about everything that's coming up. Who wants to, catch the action live? What are the best vantage points and the key details that everyone should know?
So there is, because it is 2 islands that we incorporate with this race, the best viewing point for the starts would be at the foreshore, where you can now see each boat. You can be able to see all boats, where it's going to be on the water, off of the foreshore, where you can now see the starts of each class, and along the coastline onto Chaguaramas itself, you can be able to see the boats race past from the yacht club, and then going across to Maracas Bay. I know a lot of people, they go over there to now have a good view of each boat passing. And because we have a marker at Maracas, it is one of the best points to view it. And if it is you want to be with a venture to have a little road trip, you could go down to Grand River, where boats run along the coast and they take off from the tip of Grand River and head straight into Tobago. And I know that with a lot of the folks who's going to be in Tobago, we end off the race at Storby, where we allow all boats to now do 1 lap in front of Storby and they end off there.
All right, Stefan, thank you so much for joining us this morning. We look forward to the great race, the 58th great race. Have a great day, and, we wish you all the best.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care. Make sure and clear your schedules and catch all the action as the boats make that epic run across the water. 7:57, that's the time in the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. This is where we say goodbye. We see you tomorrow, 6 to 8, where we do this all over again on Trinidad and Tobago today. Have a beautiful day. Bye-bye.
Resilient, brave, worthy. 12 majestic women, 12 majestic journeys. Majestic Makeover Season 3, coming soon to TTT and TTT Live online.
Majestic Makeover Season 3 is powered by
More news, more access, more ways to stay informed. TTT News covers the stories that matter on air and online. Join us nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.
The Mother Church of the Anglican Diocese suffered significant damage during the earthquake of 2018. efforts are underway to raise funds to restore this national heritage site. You are invited to make your donations with monthly deposits at any branch of the First Citizens Bank, account number 2696950, Marval Road Branch, in the name of the Incorporated Trustees of the Anglican Holy Trinity Cathedral Restoration.
Hey, up for this exciting challenge and confident about your business? If you are, the 10-20 feature is just what you need. It's where you give your customers 10 reasons in 20 seconds why they should shop by you. This fun-filled feature will be captured, packaged, and aired on television and promoted on social media simultaneously. Small, medium, and large businesses call or WhatsApp 764-3378 or 313-4215. Let's feature your business. 1020 with Junior K. It's affordable, effective, and fun.
Good morning. This is your TTT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. Making the news at this time. Embracing the digital landscape is essential for Tobago's competitiveness, says Tobago Information Technology Limited CEO Ian Williams. He believes that by developing the skills needed to adopt emerging technologies, the island can unlock new opportunities, boost productivity, and strengthen its position in the global economy. An upcoming summit hosted by the IT firm is designed to help businesses and organizations better understand and harness the benefits of artificial intelligence.
We believe, and he spoke to timeliness, that is a critical moment because AI adaptation, not just access, adaptation is accelerating globally. And the decisions that we take now will, in fact, affect Tobago's competitiveness over the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years. All right? We can no longer just be users of the technology. We need to develop our own talent, solutions, build capacity for the island of Tobago.
Mr. Williams noted that the event is not just for AI specialists, but for businesses, administrators, policymakers, entrepreneurs, and others.
Ultimately, this AI Ready Tobago Summit supports a broader vision of building a smarter, a more innovative, and digitally empowered Tobago.
Tobago Symposium will provide training and workshops, as well as help to build the digital skills in Tobago. In other news, the Uptown Carnival Improvement Committee is criticizing the decision by some carnival bands to forego the traditional East Port of Spain route, commonly known as Behind the Bridge. The committee says it is actively working to revitalize the area, introducing several new initiatives designed to draw more masqueraders and spectators back to the route for carnival celebrations. President of the Uptown Carnival Improvement Committee, Dr. Vijay Ramlal Rai, is arguing that despite the historical significance of Mass Behind the Bridge, the area has not been receiving the recognition it deserves. He was speaking at the 2026 prize distribution ceremony on Tuesday evening, where 85 bands were awarded for their presentations during Carnival 2026.
That's the birthplace of Trinidad's Carnival, and I wish to debate any single person, band leader or otherwise, who would dare to tell us why they don't like passing there. That's the excuse, they don't like passing there. But we have over 100 and something bands pass there every carnival.
However, Deputy Chairman of the National Carnival Commission and Chairman of the Regional Carnival Committee, Kevin Gibbs, said the problem is not new. Instead, he proposed attractive initiatives to reclaim patrons, citing the success of Flavor Village.
To do is to create something create something behind the bridge that makes them come back. What we did here, this carnival going, with what Mark and I and the rest of the board at the NCC just discussed this afternoon, was to change the outlook of what's happening at the Savannah so that it becomes a carnival city.
Awards were distributed in a range of categories, among them the Junior Parade of the Bands, Juve Bomb, Senior Kings and Queens of Carnival, and Band of the Year. In sport, national defender Chauvonez Hamilton is one of TNT's most promising footballers, and the 22-year-old will captain Club Sando FC in their CONCACAF Caribbean Cup opening match this evening from 6 p.m. at the Hazley Crawford Stadium. It's a responsibility he relishes.
It means a lot, I'm very excited, very passionate to lead the team in this tournament. It's our first time in history for the club. Excited to go there and play the football and to give a good showing for Trinidad and Tobago. Our goal for sure is to go further, for sure. We are pushing to go further. We are pushing for a bigger stage, for sure. I will give a good showing of myself and hopefully I can move on to something bigger after.
And that was your TDT News Update. I'm Carrie Roberts. On behalf of all of us here, have a great day.
Your news, anytime, anywhere. TTT News brings you the facts that matter most, on air and online. TTT News, nightly at 7. TTT News, committed, accurate, relevant.